Good morning. This morning I'm going to go over question 2 of INF2611, the October-November 2015 exam paper. It's talking about multiple forms. They're asking us, explain the use and implementation of the modal form style and give an example of such a form. The modal form is the one where you have to wait for a user response. Modal forms are used where the application cannot continue until the user has provided the required information, and you want them to force the user to deal with the form before continuing to use the application. So examples of such forms are your standard messages that you get. You want them to be able to click on OK to continue. You want to push cancel. You want to be able to basically wait for a response from the user, like this here. This is an example of a modal form. They can't click on this other form and carry on working because you want them to click on the OK button. So this is an example of a modal form. Okay. In the question B, it says identify at least 2 modes of forms that you used in your database project. You are required to name the modes and also discuss the requirement for their use. So if you have a look at my program, I've got 2 forms. One is a customers one here, and the other one is a products form. Okay, alright, ignore that. As I was saying, I've used a modeless form and I've used a model form. And the model form is the one where the user can't switch between the 2 screens, and the modeless one, they can switch between the 2. So yeah, the correct example should be, in this instance, if I go here and I go to products, you can see I can still select this other screen here and continue choosing one of the other options. Whereas with a modeless form, as you saw, if I click on this open here, I cannot click on any of these options. So that's what the difference is. And the other difference is that the way that they are displayed. The modeless form, you have to use the form and the show modal option, and the modeless form, you use the form show method. But yeah, you can see here I've used the form show method for my forms. Okay. Yeah. Then so that is identifying the 2 modes of forms that I've used. Okay. What is a data module, and explain why a data module is included in any database application. If you have a look here, here's my data module. I've named it DMU sales. My data module is there because I want all my database connections, my queries, my transactions, everything to be stored there so that all my forms can access it from one central location, and I don't have to have all these different objects on each form. Because for instance, this I'm using SQLite, which is one database. So now by having it in the module, I only need to specify the database once, whereas if I had it on each form, I would have to specify the database each time that object appears there, because it sort of creates a new instance of a database for each new form I create. So by having a data module, I'm creating one instance, and I'm able to I'm able to keep that instance to be able to be used by all my multiple forms. Okay, so that is what I would have written down there for this answer. And yeah, here's some other information. This is the best place to store our database objects, components, so that multiple forms can access the data from one central location. For centralized handling of all data components. The next question says, explain the difference between auto-create forms and available forms. Explain which of these options you used in the development of your project. In my projects, I've used the auto-create forms. The reason being is that these forms are always created when the application is run, and I did not have to specify a constructor to create these forms. You've got another type which is called an available form, and there the developer has to create a constructor to in order for that form to be used or created. So if I have a look here and I go to my projects, if I look under forms, you'll see there's all my created forms, but it was actually project options I was looking for. Forms, there we go. You can see there I've got auto create forms and I've got available forms. So I can use those options to create or initiate forms in the application. Okay. Then discuss 3 reasons or benefits for the use of multiple forms in an application, and give motivation with reference to the development of the project application. Reasons why I would want to use multiple forms. Is because I want the user to be able to do multitasking. I want them to be able to, I want the forms not to be fully cluttered. I also want them to have their specific information or requirements on each form, so that you don't have one form that looks as confusing as this current screen at the moment. Alright. I thank you for watching this. I hope that it answers some of your questions, and may you have a good day. Goodbye.